Rican power.
That's right. That's right. I'm getting jealous. When are we getting some Cubans in here?
We'll do that. I mean, there's Cubans every day. There's two Cubans.
There's Cubans. Every time I'm here is Cuban.
Well, one Cuban and one half Cuban every day. We have, but we've got Xavier and I. We've got some tips for you at the beginning of the show. We're going to talk about retirement accounts for businesses that a lot of times people don't think that are available. Very important. Although it's a topic near and dear to Xavier's heart. And then we've got our interview, a fantastic interview lined up for you with Anthony Zambrana, Liz Marie Zambrana from Tabab, Taribe, and Healing Moon Company. Two companies.
Okay.
Two fantastic entrepreneurship opportunities here. Two new businesses for you to support here in Charlottesville.
Terrific.
So it's going to be very exciting. We're going to get started shortly here. Oh, even Liza's excited.
Exactly. I was going to say.
Even Liza is excited for today.
Oh, boy.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Today y Mañana. I'm Alex. This is Xavier. We're really excited to have you with us today. It's a beautiful. I mean, it's a little rainy,
it's always
but
beautiful.
It's still good. It's always beautiful in Charlottesville.
It's
It's always beautiful. Like we said on Tuesday, when you wake up and you're above the mud, it's
right.
beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful day in Charlottesville, Virginia. As always, we're presented by Emergent Financial Services, and we have a new partner with us today. We're going to be partnering now with Seaville Picnic. So it's your definitely your destination whenever you want to plan a picnic, you want to plan a perfect date night. You even just want to go out and enjoy the beautiful fall weather at a winery, but have everything prepared for you and set up. It's Stephanie Devada, Seaville Picnic is the way to go. So we're really excited to be partnering with them. Our other powering sponsors, of course, Vitae Spirits. We have Cristel Noel, State Farm Agency, GBS Financial Services, and as always, we are with Forward Adelante, the premier Latino networking group here in Charlottesville, Virginia. So the jam-packed show today. We've got some great finance tips I know you and I want to talk about. And then we're going to be joined shortly in the show by Anthony Zambrana and Liz Marie Zambrana, two fantastic businesses they're running, the big one, Healing Moon Company, and of course, Tabab Taribe, which we'll talk about a little later. So that's going to be a very exciting one. And so I know you've been, one of the things that's been on your mind, it was on the Tuesday tips.
That's
for those
true.
of you who watch Tuesday
but
tips
even
on I Love
before that,
Seaville.
right? So I'm walking from the parking lot here, and then I get this text message from a good friend of mine, which you all know, Dan Jensen, right? And of course now I lost it. And it's rare he sends me a text, right? But this text, I thought it was apropos to today, and he has no idea what we're talking about, right? And I know Dan since
we're going to send this to him afterwards and tell him he got name dropped on the show.
I know Dan since the 1980s when I was a young, portfolio manager buying bonds, and he was kind of a bond analyst helping me, and he was even younger than I was. I have to say that, of course, but I think he is anyway. And we work well together. But it says, words of wisdom. To accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream. Not only plan, but also believe. And that was by Anatole France, which is a French poet, right? But I thought it's perfect because when you're thinking of small businesses, right? We not only have to act, but we have to dream. And I remember one of our guests, he says, you want to dream big, right?
Dream big.
Because that's the most important. The bigger you dream, the better it is, right? And dreams don't cost you anything. So from that perspective, you have to do it, right? And then, you have to believe, and you have to believe in what you do. So I think all that is very important, but certainly on Tuesday, so every Tuesday we have Tuesday tips, right? And so I like on Thursday to expand on that because the Tuesday tips is like a 1 minute.
Quick way to see it.
That's right.
Emergent Financial Services today, mañana, just pop up Xavier there telling you in a quick minute, a quick tip.
That's right. But this one, I think requires a little more more work, and I know you know this very well also. So I'm sure you'll be able to. Whenever I trip up on something that's just not quite right, the fact's just not quite
I've opened enough
I'm
of these.
sure you'll be able to say, hold on, Xavier, 1 minute.
Un momentito, por favor. Un
momentito. So that's right, un momentico, por favor. There are 5 ways, if you're a small business, there's really 5 ways to begin to save for retirement, right? One is the traditional IRA that everybody can do. The other one's the Roth IRA, right? But then there's 3 that I think are very important. One is called a SEP plan, simple plan, and 401k. And I think most people are familiar with the 401k.
I think most people have heard of the 401k. It's
Exactly.
the other two that oftentimes...
The other two are the ones, right. And the SEP simply means Simplified Employee Pension Plan, right? And then the simple this is a little more...
Savings incentive match
plan for employees. Exactly. And we'll explain both of those. And there's pros and cons to both, right? But the one thing that I also want to mention, there are two things I want to mention. One is when you start these plans, right? The IRA allows you to claim some of the upfront costs, right, for these plans. Now, again, there are some rules, there's some regulations, so you really have to speak to either your financial advisor or your tax person
professional,
just to figure out exactly what those rules are and how much you can claim on your taxes. But think about it. I mean, you're trying to open an account that's going to save you on taxes, both because you put money away, and so you're not, all that money you're putting away is not taxable. And then second, it grows tax-free in the account that you put it away. So, and then third, the IRS says, well, these IRS says, we'll help you pay for the upfront costs, right? Both the necessary and the unnecessary costs, right? So there's some costs that have to be borne by the company, and there's no choice about it. And those are costs that just come up, and you can also apply.
You could pay them for your employees.
Exactly.
It would have been an employee cost.
Right. So let's talk a little bit about the SEP plan. I mean, like I said, the traditional IRA and the Roth, I think most people are familiar with.
Most people, I think, are familiar with that because they're also used by individuals that aren't small business owners. Yeah. And so I think most people know that, you've got that $6,000 limit you can put away into an IRA or a Roth IRA every year. And I think even people who are not business owners but are employees, sometimes if your company doesn't have a retirement plan, you could go with that yourself. Right. You could open an IRA because it just means individual retirement account.
Exactly.
But the key is that there are certain advantages that small business owners get by going to one of the SEP, the symbol of the 401k, that sometimes they don't know about.
That's right.
And so they'll still be putting money just in an IRA when you could actually go to a plan that's designed a little more specifically to help a small business owner, an entrepreneur.
Yeah. And the beauty of it, and I always say this, just because you open up these plans, it doesn't mean that you have to put X amount of money in there. You can put whatever you want, whatever is feasible for you that year. You have a very good year, you can put more into these particular plans, right? You don't have a very good year, you don't have to put anything in.
Exactly. The maximum isn't a minimum. In other words, if your plan tells you, like the simple IRA tells you can put a maximum of $13,500 in there, it doesn't mean you have to put. It's not like you're going to be penalized as, you only put $2,000 away this year, now you're penalized. No, you only put $2,000 away that year, but you have the ability to put up to $13,500.
Exactly. And so the difference, between a SEP and a simple are the following. In the SEP plan, you basically create a plan, and the company essentially puts all the money into the retirement plan. In other words, the employee doesn't do anything. He doesn't put anything in there, right? And the beauty about this plan is that you can put up to the minimum of $58,000 or 25%, right?
Of your salary.
Of your salary.
Whichever is lower, basically.
Yeah. Well, it's not salary. It's
well, you've been paid as an entrepreneur.
As an entrepreneur. So it's beautiful. So let's say you make $100,000 on your business that year, right? And you obviously have some expenses, some costs, and you pay yourself some money. You're not going to be able to put $58,000 away because there aren't $58,000, but you can put 25% of whatever that is, right? So that's just a great way if you can live on X, and then you have X plus left over, right? So if you live on $25,000 and then you got another $10,000 left over, it's a great way to put that money in there. And there's also a reason, is because the money that you put in there is deducted from the taxes that the company pays. So it's a perfect way to really, save on taxes, to create an account that is going to grow, a retirement account that's going to grow tax-free, so that by the time you're ready to retire, right? And we've talked about this with so many business owners, because business owners always say, well, I just want to put that money back into the business, and when I'm ready to retire, I'll just sell the business. That's not the optimal way of doing it, right? It's always great to have a little nest egg, because one, you never know what can happen. Two, if you're trying to sell a business, if you're 65 years old and you say, I'm ready to retire, I'm ready to sell my business, the guy on the other side is looking at you and said, he looks 65. I think he doesn't want to work anymore.
Exactly.
You're not going to get the best bid for your company.
Exactly.
Right? They go, and at that point, you're saying, I have to sell because I've got no savings, and that's my retirement, right? So it's great to have a nest egg that grew over time, tax-free, because when you're selling your business, say, okay, that's not a good price, I'll find somebody else. In other words, you are no longer in a rush to sell your business. You can sell your business at the highest bid that you can find, whenever you want.
And
right?
you don't need to sell your business. I think that's one of the beauties of being able to move funds to retirement accounts as you have a small business. If you think about it, there's a good chance that as a small business owner, your business is going to be your biggest retirement asset. In other words, if you don't do anything else, it keeps growing, it keeps becoming more valuable, So then you get there, it's time, you're ready to retire, or you want to pass this on to your kids, this business, and you sit there and say, now what? How do I access some of that retirement money that's all in my business? You can't really sell like, oh, can I sell 20% of it? It's not that easy. Just go find someone who wants to only buy 20% of your business.
Exactly.
And you don't want to be able to have to sell the whole thing because you want to pass it on to your kids.
And you can't sell it to your kids, or you probably don't want to, because then you burden them with some debt.
There's a huge tax bill if you've done that, because they have to actually, that's one of the things a lot of people don't realize is when you pass a business to your kids actually have to purchase that business. You can't give it to them for free.
That's right.
Because the IRS is going to come and say, no, wait a second, this was $1 million business. They have to pay you $1 million for this business.
That's right.
Right? Even if you sit there and say, but I don't want them to pay, it's my own kid. The IRS is like, we don't care. Somebody's got to pay taxes on the transfer of this business, so they have to pay you for it.
Exactly.
We've had some retirement clients that come to us and say, what do you mean my kids have to buy this from me? I just want to give it to them. And it's not that easy.
Yeah.
And so what you do with a retirement account like a simple RECEP is what you're doing is over time, you're transferring a little bit of the wealth from your business to a different type of account. So it's still yours, right? But now it's no longer all locked up in the business. So when that day comes and you sit there and say, I'm ready to retire, I want to pass my business to your kids, you're no longer in a position where you need the business to pay your retirement, because you've slowly over years transferred money out of your business into a different type of account. And now you have this retirement plan that will pay for your retirement. And if you want to sell the business, great. Right? But if you don't want to sell it because you have kids, or you want to wait for a better offer because someone's not offering you what you think it's worth, you don't have to sell it, because you have a retirement plan that's ready to pay your retirement, even while you hire someone else to operate the business or pass it on to your kids. And so it's one of those little tricks, right, to be able to say, you know how people always say you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
That's right.
And so you've got the basket that is your business, but now you have a second basket of eggs that is your retirement plan.
That's right.
And now you haven't put them all in this one business.
Yeah, and listen, I mean, small businesses have an advantage because, like we said, there are multiple ways they can do this, right? So SEP was one way. Simple is another way. Simple is you create an account, and in that account you could put up to a maximum of $13,500. The difference here is that you literally, as an employee or as an owner of the firm, have to put money into, the money comes from you, and then the company matches. And the company has two ways of matching. There's a 2%, which means that the company's decided that no matter whether you open an account or not, they're going to put 2% of your salary
for every employee.
For every employee.
Every
single employee in the company, they're going to put 2% of your salary into that plan. Or they can go with the choice of doing a 3% plan, which basically says they'll match up to 3% of your salary, right? And it doesn't matter how much, it matters how much you put in.
That case,
so if you as an employee put in only 2%, they only have to put in 2%. If you want an employee put up 5% of your salary, they only have to put up to 3%. So 3% is the max, but you as an employee have to put something in the percentage. But the beauty, again, is that, yes, you're putting your own money as an employee, you're putting money into your simple, into a retirement fund, and the company is then giving you some money. It's free money. I mean, you already have a salary, and now they're saying if you put at least up to 3%, you're getting now 3% more of your salary. If you're making $20,000 a year, right, that's another $600 that they're putting there free, right? If you're making more than that, that's even more, right? So these are beautiful and tremendous opportunities for small businesses. And again, there's different choices, and every small business has to decide which one fits best for them, right? Whether it's the SEP plan, which the company basically puts the money all in. The employee doesn't have to put any money in whatsoever.
The employee doesn't do anything there.
Exactly.
The company says, I'm putting this money into your retirement account, whether you contribute or not.
That's right.
And the simple IRA is more, because the 2% is very infrequently used. The simple IRA is more of, if my employees want to participate, I will help them as the small business owner. But if they don't want to participate, I'm not going to put anything into their retirement.
That's correct.
So it's those two options, and they can be powerful tools, especially in today's market, also for employee retention and encouraging employees to come to your business. Because especially, and I've been noticing this a lot with nonprofits, small businesses around town, that a lot of them are asking us and saying, what are one of the things I can do? I mean, I'm offering this pay. What can I do to get someone to come to me instead of working for a different company? And one of the things you can say is, well, I will match. If you want to participate in a simple IRA, if you want to put away money for your retirement, I'll help you do that.
Exactly.
And that goes a long way, because then employees will say, oh, that actually sounds pretty nice. If I want to do this, they'll help me a little bit. But it's not an open-ended contribution. It's not saying, oh, if you put $50,000 away, I have to put 50 as the small business owner too. It's not saying I'll help you up to 3%.
Up to 3%
of your
salary. Exactly. And it's the other thing I wanted to mention was that it doesn't stop you in most cases. There is a limitation on your salary, but it doesn't stop you in most cases also of putting some money away into a Roth. Right? Which we always talk about, because the beautiful thing about a Roth is it can also be considered almost an emergency fund, right? Because you put money into a Roth after you pay taxes. So the money you put in there will grow tax-free. However, if for whatever reason you need to tap into that fund, you can pull out whatever money you put in. You can't pull out.
For example, if you put in $6,000 into a Roth IRA and it grows to 10, right, you can always take out the 6.
Right.
You can't touch the other 4 unless in special
without the
conditions.
Without the penalty. Or some other
special
conditions.
conditions or penalties. But the 6 is always there.
Exactly.
So you have access to that as a retirement fund. And the Roth can be done with the other accounts. It can't be done with the traditional IRA.
No.
So if you put $6,000 into just a plain old IRA, you can't put another 6 in the Roth. The IRS is going to be, no. It's got to be 6 total between them. But if you've got a simple or a SEP, because you're a small business owner, you can also put the 6 into the Roth.
That's
and the IRS says you can do that. Because
there are salary restrictions. It depends on how much.
There's always salary restrictions with the Roth. I mean, at this point now, it's up to $190,000 if you're filing jointly. So it's a very high restriction.
Right.
You have to be making a lot of money to hit that restriction. But the beauty is you can do them both, because the IRS says one is your company's plan and one is you as the individual. And so you're able to do so much more as a small business owner than you could if you were just an individual.
Yeah. And in today's, I mean, we've gone through, quite a few number of years where taxes have been relatively low from a historical point of view, right? But without any doubt, I mean, we are seeing that taxes are going to be increased literally across the board. It's it's a known fact. So, and to believe that we're going to stay at these lower tax ranges forever,
hard to imagine they'll be this low forever.
Exactly. So, it's a great way, right, to again save on taxes. And anytime, I mean, I think anytime somebody says you can save on taxes, we should be clapping, right? We should be happy about that.
At least
right?
we should take advantage of it ourselves.
And we should take advantage of it, right?
For everybody else,
I'm sure the IRS is not happy with what I'm saying, but it's the truth, right? I mean, why pay for something, that you don't have to?
Exactly. Well, plus you can hedge both ways, right? Because the beauty of the simple or the SEP, right, is that since you're saving on taxes now, you will pay them later.
Right. When presumably you don't have a salary, you're retired, and so you're in a lower tax bracket.
And the beauty of the Roth is the reverse. You're paying the taxes now, but when you take it out in retirement, you won't pay any taxes.
That's right.
So by doing both, you're sort of hedging it both ways. You're like, all right, if taxes for some reason end up being higher in the future than they are today, it's okay, I have my Roth.
That's right.
I benefited from that because I won't be paying those in the Roth. And if taxes end up being lower in the future than they are today, it's still okay because I have now my simple or my SEP, where I'll be paying taxes later and I didn't pay them now. So no matter how you slice it, by doing both, you put yourself in a good position where it doesn't matter whether taxes are higher in the future. than they are today. You will have one type of retirement account that benefits from whatever happens.
That's right. And the other thing is, with inflation the way it is, it's also a great opportunity because once again, you are now saving for the future, and it's going to continue to grow because it's growing tax-free. You would hope that it's growing faster than inflation, because if you have money in a regular account, as we all know, every single year, the IRS comes in and says, how much did you make in this account? What was the capital gains? What was the interest? Let me have some of that, please.
Exactly.
So you got inflation, you got the IRS, and before you know it, say, I've made pennies. How is that possible? I mean, I made the right decisions, but I made pennies.
They call it tax drag, and what it
Exactly.
is, if you think about it, you save $100, right? And then it grows in a year to 200. But the IRS says, I want 15% of that.
And it's going to
100
go up.
that you earned, and it's going to go up. But the IRS right now says, I want 15% of that extra 100 that you got. So they take away $15. So now instead of having 200,
and maybe that 100 wasn't all capital gains, right? So let's say some of it was dividends. You're paying it at your tax
dividends
bracket.
you'd be paid even a higher
Exactly.
rate, because a dividend would come as your income. But let's assume for the purposes of this that it's all capital gains, so it's all 15, right? Instead of 200, that's can grow the next year, it's 200 minus 15, so it's 185.
Exactly.
So now you could have had 200 growing next year, gaining more money, gaining interest, gaining percentage, but now you only have 185, and that continues every single year. Whereas in the tax-free account, in the retirement account, your Roth, your Simple, your SEP, your IRA, right? That's 200. That 200 doesn't get taxed every year.
That's right.
So it grows, and each year it's growing more and more. So you don't have the drag of the fact that your growth every year, 15% gets taken away by the IRS.
Yeah, think about $15,000 every single year, and that is growing every single year. That adds up to a lot of money over time.
Exactly. It's the compound interest isn't being reduced or dragged down.
Dragged down.
The tax drag name. That compound interest you're earning isn't being dragged down by taxes paid every year. You'll still pay taxes either at the end or the beginning, right? Death and taxes are inevitable. You will pay taxes, right, at some point. But the key is by not having to pay them every year in between, it allows your retirement savings time to grow really powerfully, so that the only taxes you're going to pay on them is either at the beginning when you put it into a Roth, or at the end when you take it out of a Simple or a SEP.
Right.
And that's a really powerful tool.
And the second thing is that growth, right? That growth is greater than the amount you're going to be paying taxes in the future, in the sense that in the future, when you retire, let's say you're 65, you're ready to retire, and you have $700,000 in retirement, right? Because you did the right thing and you saved every single year. You don't take all
You don't take all 700,000.
He switched this on me.
I know. See, he
purpose.
changed the
I
side of the
used to have that
microphone,
right.
so now
But
your hand is
exactly.
on the wrong side.
I got to control this hand. So you're not going to take all $700,000 out the first day that you retire and say,
No.
boom, pay taxes on $700,000, right? You're going to, whatever you need, you take out. So again, you're going to be paying much lower taxes because the amount you take out is going to be small, and you don't even have to take it out until you're 72 and a half, at which point, again, the IRS requires a required minimum distribution, which then you have to pull some of it out. But it's just again, for small businesses, and you and I know, we talk to so many small business owners, they struggle, especially at the beginning. But I always recommend, even at the beginning, think about it and just be ready for it.
Have a plan.
Have a
ready
plan,
to go.
because even if at the end of the year, say, I got this extra $1,000, what do I do with it? Put it into a retirement plan.
Make it work.
It doesn't matter.
Make it work for you.
Exactly.
Is always the key,
Exactly.
right? Anything extra you've got, make it work for you instead of just. Because I always say, not to beat the dead horse on the inflation horse, but $1,000
Becoming
under
a
your
big
pillow
horse.
at night. It's becoming a big horse. I'm beating it a lot. Poor thing. And Peter's done it time after me. He's like, why is he beating this dead horse? But that if you put $1,000 under your pillow every day,
Yeah.
inflation is coming, and I'll take $1 here, I'll take $1 there. You put it into a retirement account, at least, even if it only grows the rate of inflation, right? You're ensuring that $1,000 50 years from now is worth the same as the same $1,000 you had today.
Exactly.
Because there's nothing worse than you put $10,000 just in cash, and then you wake up 20 years from now and say, oh, I got $10,000, and you go to get it, it's like, it's only worth 6. It used to be worth 10. It's really only worth 6 now because everything else is more expensive. And you sit there and say, what? I thought I had 10. It doesn't buy as much. But at least if it grows with inflation, you to know that the same 10 you put in today is going to buy the same amount of goods and services that it'll buy for you in 50 years.
Exactly.
And that gives you peace of mind to know that there's no reverse tooth fairy like saying, oh,
Every time you do that, it reminds me of, remember the comedian Jackie Mason? I remember he had this little skit, and I know I'm going to blow it bad, but he had this little skit that basically said, so when they told me that the $100 that I used to have, right, because of inflation is now worth only $80, he says, but the bread that I used to buy for 5 cents is now 10 cents. He says, so from here on, instead of saving my money, I'm just going to buy bread and save my bread because it goes up, right? But it's true, right? I mean, the bottom line is it's true. It's like, wait a minute, the dollar's worth less and everything else is going up. Wait a minute. There's something wrong here. How do I solve this problem?
If only I could save the bread.
That's right.
But it's just so many tools that I think are there, right, that can be used. You know, and our goal is just to make sure people know that they're there.
That's it, yeah. It's education, right? We talked about it on Tuesday. Education is one of the most important things that we do and we bring to our clients because there's no reason why they need to know all this, right? It's just not their business. Whatever their business is, they know. We don't know anything about their business, but this is our business. So it's a way to help them prepare for the future. And the future could be 5 years from now, 30 years from now, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. That's the goal.
That's the goal.
Right, that's the goal. So
we have two entrepreneurs.
Two entrepreneurs instead of
I
one
mean,
company
it's
that we
one.
talked about today.
They're married, so it's one, but it's two.
But it's two. So we're very excited. We got some plus. I mean, Latino, Puerto Rican power. So that's good.
Does that mean they're going to have to say something in Spanish because is that mandatory now or?
Oh, I don't know. We'll ask them. We're really
that's
excited.
One question at least, right?
At least one question. Anthony Zambrana, Liz Marie Zambrana, thank you so much for joining us today. We're really excited to have you on.
Thank you for having us. We're very excited
to be here. Absolutely, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about it. 'Cause I know we've got two awesome businesses that I've been able to see a little bit on Facebook. One that's been around for a little longer. One that's, I think, brand new that people are going to be able to enjoy. So you can decide who wants to go first, because we've got Healing Moon Company and also Kebab Caribe.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Healing Moon Co., what I do is sterling silver jewelry. But it's everything with natural stones. I don't like to use resin or any kind of, and every piece is unique. I don't repeat pieces.
Wow.
No mass produced. And if somebody asks me for a specific piece, it's that person's. I don't do replicas or anything like that. Actually, I started my business with another name in 2012. Very different to what I'm doing right now. I started doing beaded jewelry and designing jewelry, but always with natural stones. That's something that always drove me, like using natural stones. And then when I like to change the concept because I needed like something different. Like I felt like I was like stuck. So that's when the idea of Healing Moon came, but I had to change, I changed everything. The concept, everything, the materials I was using, even the name.
Oh, amazing. So you've been so experienced at this for a while.
Yes.
Knowing how to create this custom stones. And I like the idea of the natural stones. So much you buy now is...
What got you into doing that?
Actually, I've always been passionate about jewelry.
Okay.
That's something that, I don't know if it's the community that we come from, the Hispanic, that we love to like adorn ourselves with jewelry, makeup, flowers, our hair.
Exactly.
And I remember since I was little, I always liked to play with my mom's jewelry. I would wear everything at the same time. And since then, I always had a passion for jewelry. And then one time, I remember I was always collecting pictures on Pinterest of jewelry. And my younger sister was like, why are you always collecting those pictures? Why don't you make your own jewelry? Make your own jewelry. And by that time when she said that, I was making beaded jewelry.
Okay.
But then, I got kind of stuck when I was doing the beaded jewelry, and I was so frustrated. And I told my husband, I need to do something different, to do something that people, I don't know, can identify with it. I don't want to do any more of the beading jewelry. I want something different, something unique, something that I can make from the ground. Like,
Oh.
not something that it's already like wires already made
Exactly.
or everything.
Okay.
No, like ensembling. Yeah, that's the word. No, I was tired of doing that. I wanted to create my own thing, like my own ideas, and that's how I started creating the jewelry. Now the thing about the natural stones, I don't know why, but since I was little, I always liked natural stones. Not just diamonds, like all little girl always dreaming about the diamond when they get married. No, I was dreaming more about rose quartz, onyx, and different amethysts. That's because of the colors and because of the energy they bring.
Okay.
It's very different. So, and everybody's looking for like something different, like to wear. But I wanted to give people something special to look for, not just the regular jewelry, because it can be a simple ring, not too many designs, but if the stone is what calls you, that piece
Of course.
is special. It
Exactly.
doesn't have to be very like with too many details.
Right.
It's just what the person, how the piece call you. It's I don't know if I made
No,
The
I
way it makes
understand.
you
Absolutely.
feel, the sensations you
Exactly.
can get,
Yes,
and when
yes.
you're drawn to that particular
color,
stone or
the
that color
stone.
or that design,
Yes.
it feels special to that person.
That's what you said about the color. That's very important because some people, I've heard people that when go to the market and they're looking for a piece and they're, I like this because of the color. But what that person probably don't know is the energy of that stone, what it's calling you.
Like an
It's not
attraction.
the color.
Oh.
Like some people, they're like, I need amethyst because I need tranquility, or I need onyx because I need protection. You don't choose the stone chooses
Chooses
you.
you.
The crystal chooses you.
That's
So
interesting.
it is very interesting.
It is.
That is
I have
interesting.
somebody I remember in one event, there was this guy, and that was the time when I was doing beaded bracelets. And he was like in between two. He's like, I don't know which one, because I like both, but I'm gonna buy just one. But I like both, but I can buy just one. And I'm like, you know what? Take both, and I'll charge you just for one. But why are you doing that? Because I know the energy of these two are calling you,
Right.
and you can't decide which one to choose. So I'm giving you the other one because I know you need it.
Oh, isn't that amazing?
That's just that is amazing to see that, and I've read about things like that where stones have special energy, but I never thought it from perspective that you go look at a stone and the stone is calling you.
It's
But that
calling you.
makes
I had
sense.
never thought of it that
But that
way
makes sense,
before.
right? Yeah.
You believe that you choose the stone, but it's not the case.
It's the other way around.
And there's story of people that they buy a crystal because of the properties the crystal has.
Right.
That's what I'm looking for. That's what I need. But probably in that moment, that's not what you need. And then you buy the crystal, you cleanse the crystal, not with water and soap. I'll talk about that later. You cleanse the crystal, you fill it with your energy, and all of a sudden, the crystal breaks. Like it drops and you break it, or you got it in your purse and it fell and it breaks, because that's not what
That's
you
not
needed.
what you needed.
Wow.
That's not.
It's
You chose
very
it. Not.
mysterious
It
way,
didn't
yeah.
call you. You chose it, and it
Yep.
wasn't the. Yeah.
No.
That's just
That's
amazing. That's just amazing.
So do you work with people, let's say people come in and said, I have no idea what stone is right for me. Do you work with people to sort of figure out, which is the one that for you or do they kind of know once they come in, they'll sense it?
Actually, I don't like to tell people which one they need,
Ah,
because it's like playing being doctor, let's say, and I'm not a doctor. So I always feel like if they say, I'm looking something like for relaxation, for meditation, okay, I can tell that person, okay, this crystal work, this crystal work, this crystal work, but you have to decide.
Okay.
Or you have to let it, because I can decide
can't
that
do
for
that.
you.
exactly.
I
That
can
makes
decide,
sense.
because sometimes some crystals they can work the opposite way. Like,
Oh, if it's the wrong.
like for example, orange crystals, orange colors, orange, yellow, those are crystals filled with a lot of energy. Somebody that has a lot of energy by nature should not wear any type of those. They should they go with more calm stones and yeah.
Or the opposite may be
it's like
true.
giving-
Somebody very low energy and they buy a crystal makes them calm. They'll be sleeping all day.
I'll be sleeping all day. Well, it's like taking a Cuban and like giving him too much sugar. It's just, he's already high energy and now he's just, what happened? Don't take the sugar away from him.
No way.
Take it away. But I mean, speaking of people being drawn to something, I can imagine people must be drawn to the flavors and the sensations of Kebab Caribe as well. Tell us a little bit about what you started, Anthony.
Well, Cabo Caribe is, we bring the flavor from the island, from Puerto Rico to CBO, to the city market. We use a spice, we use herb that I believe we grew up with that flavor. This is coming from my grandma, my mom, my wife, now passed to my daughter. So that's the flavor I try. The chicken cabo that I made, we came with that flavor. That's a flavor that one morning I was craving in the market when I mentioned to you earlier. I was in the market and then we're looking for something brunch because we basically have lunch or breakfast in the market. Support other vendor, and then that morning I said, I craving a pincho. From Puerto Rico. So I said, she mentioned, this is something you can have it in here. I said, well, but I don't know. I had maybe that flashback when I was in Puerto Rico. This is what typically, we go to the corner, we go to the beach, we got that juicy cabo, that flavor, and then 3 weeks later, I was in the market, started, selling chicken cabo, and then I was surprised me. But it's good, bring that flavor to the market, and the people have the good feedback. People love it, and this is something I got, passion to share that.
Can you tell us some of the herbs that you use, or is that like a family secret? You can just maybe tell us one. How's that?
Well, we use like a typical, like a sazon. We use adobo. We use different oil. We use different spices.
Yes, yeah. The key is putting them all together in the night in the right quantity, I suspect.
It's the right quantity. This is something I marinate for 24 hours, 48 hours. And then I don't use frozen meat. So I try to use fresh quality product.
Right.
So I can bring to the people something that I can eat myself.
And is it just chicken or it's other meats too?
No, right now we just
It's
sell chicken.
Okay.
Oh, you guys got some fans watching this. So Familia Perez Laureano is watching this show.
Hi, that's my brother and my sister-in-law.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you for watching us. And so thinking tonight, since you both have two businesses, what are some of the things that you found about being an entrepreneur? What's it like to have this passion, but also like that it's a business, it's something that you can provide for, you can grow. What's your experience like been as entrepreneurs on the business side?
Actually, when I started all these, it was him pushing me because I wasn't too sure or secure of doing everything. And then, but because every time I did something new, he was like, "Okay, how do you see yourself in a few years?" I'm like, "Don't ask me that." Because I'm so anxious right now. I'm just following your advice by being an entrepreneur. I wasn't like that ready, and he's like, "You're never gonna be ready. You just have to do it.
Yeah,
just have to do it." And I remember when we started at the market 3 years ago, I was just doing the beading jewelry, and when I told him I would like to do something else, but I don't know, and he's like, whatever you want to do, I'm gonna support you. If you fail, if you don't like it, I'm gonna be there to support you. So just do whatever you want, I'll be here. And it was very like at the beginning, it was kind of struggling. He was always like trying to like cheer me up, and I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna go, or
just do it.
You definitely had the family support is so important.
Always.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like
Always.
you mentioned earlier, say dream big. So I tell all the time, dream big and move forward. You want to go that fast, go that
Yeah,
path.
there were many times that I wanted to give up, and he was like, "No, I never known the least that gives up. So just keep going.
Yeah.
I'll be there."
So,
Do you help each other out in the businesses, and do you help her? I mean, I don't know
Yes.
what
Yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do, but probably you do. Maybe just advice, or and do you help each other in your businesses?
Yes,
always.
actually, all the time. Actually, he was always with me when I started at the market,
Okay,
helping
okay.
me and everything. And when he started, because it was all brand new, I remember the manager was like, "Okay, I'm gonna put you guys together side by side so you can help each other."
Ah, oh, you mean the two businesses side
The
by
two-
side?
yeah, side by side.
Fantastic. That was very
So
nice.
It's very funny because when people go to my tent, they're like, "It smells so good in here." And I'm like, "That's his fault."
Oh, that's my husband.
yeah.
That's his fault. No, and they get very like when they go first to his tent, they're talking about the food and everything. Oh, everything's so delicious, da da da. And we start talking, and he gives me water, or we interact. People
Do you
look
know
at us
each other?
like, and I'm like, "Oh, he's my husband." Oh, okay, because
Yeah,
we
yeah.
were too friendly.
He said, "Oh wait, these neighbors becoming
His
very
neighbor,
friendly
like,
with each
Yeah.
other."
Time together. Yeah, we was 25.
Well, you have the purpose of too. While you're making the kebab, you say, "Why don't you wait and take a look at the next tent while you wait for the
While I
kebab?
prepare your food.
While I
Yeah.
prepare your food. Look
That's
what's
the
next door."
Yeah.
I remember one time somebody was like, "How can you be here all day smelling that and not getting hungry?" And I'm like, "Does he give you some?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm not worried. He's my husband. He'll cook some for me at home." And they love it. They love that.
What you have to do is invent something, right, in your cooking that when you start eating it, you desire jewelry, right? And they go right next door. I mean, that's
right,
that's gotta be easy.
I will be working on that.
Okay.
Yeah, because already the smell works. When
Yeah,
they're in
smell
my-
That's right,
Word.
exactly.
Yeah,
Something
people they
works.
come in and say, "I was in the other corner and I found this smell. It
That
smells
is
so
funny.
good." I
It
say,
is
"Oh,
funny.
okay."
And some people go and they're like, "Oh, here you are."
Isn't that
And we
amazing?
look at each other like, "Okay."
Okay. How long have you been looking for me? What is it? I mean, the scent, the aroma of
Of the adobo,
of the adobo, the spices.
It's very, exactly.
It's just so pungent that you can be probably on the other end of the market and be
I
like,
call it special.
special.
Yes.
Well, no,
Yes.
pungent is a is a
Oh, no,
good-
no,
it's a
I didn't say it was
good way.
wrong.
It's
I mean, don't take it
powerful.
negative. It's just
It's
special.
powerful. But I know, Jerry would be here telling me, "Don't, Alex, explain what pungent means, just in case you're using too big of a word." But it just is so powerful that you could be on the other end of the market and be like, "Wait a second, what is that?
Where
I
is
need
that?
to know find
Follow
where
the
who is
nose, follow
selling
the
this."
nose.
And what's funny is some people they been to Puerto Rico, to the island, and they try pincho in Puerto Rico. Then I have people pass through and say pinchos. I say, "Oh, you know what is pincho? Yeah, pincho. I got that one in
I
Beach
had that in
and
Puerto
Culebra."
Rico.
And then I said, "This is gonna be my third lunch." But I had to have one. I had to have one. I can't pass. And then I
That
said,
one was really funny.
Yeah.
That one was really funny. I already have my third lunch.
You needed the third.
But
the
I
third
can
line.
I can pass this one. So yeah, when they try, I say, "Okay, it's good. You really made it."
It's been so much fun. It's because we really had so much fun when I started mine in the market, but when we started his, it doubled.
I can
imagine, yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, we
It's
love
hilarious.
talk to the people, interact
Yeah.
with the people. I have the feedback from the people, meet people every single day. So it is a therapy. In business, therapy is good.
Food invites people by
Oh,
itself.
absolutely, absolutely.
all
At
kinds.
least most people. You know, we're certainly those
Yes,
type of people.
absolutely. Exactly. Because it's wrapped in the culture, right? It's how you share a part of who you are, right? Because it's not just a restaurant, like it's food that you would have at the family table. Like at your family table, you would cook something with those flavors.
Yeah.
You would enjoy that. So for a moment, right, people get to enter into what it's like to be part of the Latino family and enjoy that special, unique quality of it.
That's the idea.
I have to ask one question. At home, do you ever cook mofongo?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm Cuban, but so Cubans don't have
Cuban is
mofongo.
good.
Yeah. But they don't have, yeah. So one day, now we get into a different conversation. Wait a minute. Yeah. But so my wife and I, we went to Puerto Rico when. I think it was literally the first year we got married when we went to Puerto Rico. We knew un sacerdote there and he invited us. And so we went to a restaurant, right? Puerto Rican restaurant. And I see this thing called Mofongo. And I had never had it, right? And I said, let's have it. Oh man, that was so good.
Yeah,
that was
good.
so good. It was so, but I also just like the word
The name, Mofongo.
It's just such a
Yeah.
pungent word.
Can't forget it once you.
So it was good. Yeah.
Oh, it
No,
is.
there's a lot of similarities definitely between Puerto Rican and Cuban food, but there's also the little differences, and it's very
We
savory.
want as many.
Oh, of
I want as many Latino cuisines as I can have in Charlottesville, because you got the Mexican, Peruvian, Cuban, and now we have Puerto Rican. It's just I want
That would be
as
awesome.
many as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mofongo is similar to the mango
Mango,
in Dominican
Dominican
Republic, but theirs is sweeter.
This is
Sweet.
sweeter. Okay. Yeah.
This
It's
is
amazing,
the
yeah.
beauty of it. Do we want to do a question in español? Up to
Come
you.
on.
Sure.
¿Podemos hacerlo?
Yeah.
Just for the audience, as we have a bilingual audience. So a veces yo tengo una pregunta en español. Bueno, quizás, ¿qué consejos tienen ustedes para alguien, un latino, una latina que quiere ser empresario, quiere tener su propio negocio pequeño, pero no sabe cómo empezar?
Mira, primero que nada, atreverse a empezar, que eso es lo que mucha gente, porque tengo amistades que hacen manualidades, hacen bellezas y no se atreven a presentárselo a la gente, solamente online o por teléfono. Comiencen, simplemente comiencen. Tú vas aprendiendo en el camino. Yo he ido aprendiendo mucho y todos los días aprendo algo nuevo, todos los días. Simplemente busca, como yo empecé, buscando en el mismo pueblo oportunidades en el mercado, conectarse con la gente, hablar, no tener miedo a hablar, que todo va llegando, todo te va llegando y tú vas aprendiendo en el camino.
Necesita alguien como su esposo también que empuje un poquito, ¿no?
De hecho, esos consejos él era el que me los daba, porque yo era así, yo hacía cosas, pero no me atrevía a presentarlo, exacto,
Creer en ti.
la seguridad.
Sí.
Estar seguro, tú sabes lo que vas a hacer, pues creer en ti, go for it, mueve
En español.
Ok, sí, en español.
Go forward es español,
Yo
¿no?
no sé cómo decir go forward en español.
Adelante. Forward adelante.
Siga adelante,
Siga
siga
adelante.
adelante.
Creer en ti, no tener miedo. Tú eres tu mismo enemigo. Si tú
Eso es
crees
verdad.
en ti, tú crees en tu producto, tú crees en tu negocio, sal al mundo, cómete el mundo está abierto para nuevas oportunidades. Solamente cree en ti.
Sí. Y ningún mercado es pequeño.
Es verdad.
Ningún sitio es pequeño. En todo sitio que tú vayas, ya tú estás poniendo tu granito de arena para darte a conocer.
Sí.
Vas a un lugar a presentar tu producto. No vendiste un solo producto, pero te diste a conocer. Toma eso como mercadeo.
Sí.
Te estás dando a conocer. No hay tiempo perdido en esto. Lo que tienes que hacer es levantarte temprano todos los días y hacer... tengo un plan. Escribe lo que tú quieres hacer, si es que no te acuerdas de todo. Escribe lo que quieres hacer, escribe tus metas y tú vas a ver qué.
Sí.
Muy bien dicho,
Ah, sí,
muy bien dicho.
muy
Es-
bien
es-
dicho,
es-
muy bien dicho.
Sin duda son consejos muy buenos. I mean, it's just wonderful. I'm just trying to translate a little bit for those that don't speak Spanish. But,
It's so good that I wanted to. I'm
well,
like,
they said so
oh.
much, but it's all good. But true. I mean, well, first of all, the idea that sometimes it's hard to push yourself to start a new business because I mean, you believe a little bit in yourself, but you just don't have that confidence. And to have somebody, a partner that helps you along, says you're good at it, and they push you and they say, do it, because you're very creative, and they push you into that business is fantastic, right? It's great. And the second thing is planning, like I'm sorry, I forgot your name,
Liz
but
Marie.
Liz Marie.
Liz Marie said. you have to plan sometimes. You get up in the morning and you know you have tons of things to do, but you have to plan your day and say, this is what I need to do today to get my business going. It's true.
Just the idea of learning on the road.
It's true.
Aprender por camino.
Exactly.
Like
Every day.
Sometimes we hold ourselves back and say, I need to know it all before I start.
No.
No, you don't
Nobody's more knowing everything.
Exactly.
Nobody.
That's
I
right.
think the more
That's
important
for sure.
is the discipline.
Yeah, exactly.
The discipline that you put in your business and the consistency. You need to be consistent. You fail something, continue, you improve.
You fall, stand up, and
Yeah,
continue.
you look in the history for all the success business, basically start small and they start grow up.
Exactly.
But basically it's
When I
because-
started, I didn't even know how to hold a torch.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was funny. I didn't even want to play with fire. I was scared of it.
And now you do it all the
And now-
time.
Sometimes you have to wear an apron and everything. Sometimes I forget. You have to wear closed shoes, and I forget. I go to the
Just
studio
straight.
just straight. Oh, I forgot. Let me go back because if something
Yeah.
falls or something.
Safety first.
That's
But
right.
you forget when you're used to it and you already know how to work with everything. You forget.
You become so comfortable.
Yeah, you feel,
Yeah.
you do something every day, you feel, comfortable, you believe. I say, oh, okay, no, I need my glasses.
That's right. That's very important with torch.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It is. Oh, we got some fans with some comments here. We've got Zerep Ido says SOE. Like the éxito. All right, and he's very excited. Daylene Torres says éxito from the thumbs up.
Thank you, Lily.
Thank you.
Familia Perez Laureano says La
Yeah.
Familia says Familia is so proud.
Oh, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Love you guys.
Thank you for watching. Oh, so before we let you go, we'll definitely want people to know where to find you. It sounds like City Market is number one
Yes.
place to find you. Is that
Yes.
what day is it?
Every Saturday.
Saturday.
Now the extended time until 1 p.m. from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay.
To 1 p.m. City Market. All right.
And also, I have my own website. It's healingmoonco.com.
HealingMoonCo.com. And you're also on Facebook, I believe, as Healing Moon Co.
Yes, and Facebook Healing Moon Co. and Instagram Healing Moon Co. and Twitter.
Instagram. And Twitter, Healing Moon Co. So you did lots of ways
Everywhere.
to find Healing Moon Co. And when you're at the City Market, it's very easy to find
Oh,
Kebab
yes.
Taribe. Just when you
Yes.
find Healing Moon Co.,
Oh,
first
yeah.
you can follow
No,
the
you-
scent.
First, you're gonna find the smell. You're
The
gonna
smell.
find me, and then you find me.
Exactly. So first you'll find Kebab Taribe, and then like, there
yeah,
is Healing
there
Moon
they
Co.
are.
Yeah.
There they are. You can't miss them. And be sure to do it because it sounds like an amazing duo and just a wonderful way to support Latino entrepreneurship, but also enjoy incredible food and culture while also like shopping some beautiful jewelry that you will not find
Unique,
anywhere else.
unique.
That's
Yeah,
unique.
that's the most
That's
important
the
thing.
beauty of it, I think, because there's so many things you buy in today's world where you buy it and it's like this is one of 10 million.
Correct, yeah.
This is
Yes.
one of 100,000. When you purchase something from Healing Moon Co., it's one of one.
Yes.
That's
right.
it. Like, there
You're
will
the
not
only
be.
one with that piece.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it called you.
And
right?
it told you
Yeah.
Yeah.
when the time comes. It's not like it wasn't on a shopping list. Of
Yeah.
things
That's
you
right.
said, let me just like pick one.
Yeah.
You go there, you experience it.
Yeah.
You enjoy a kebab while you're doing it.
Yeah.
The
You
pizza
got
while you're
both
doing
experience.
it.
Both
And you have
experiences.
Both
The
experiences
same
in one.
in one place.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you
Oh,
very
thank
much.
you guys
Thank
for
you.
having us.
So much
This is
fun,
fun,
so
yes.
much fun. We'll definitely have you back.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
next
Thank
time I
you.
will
We'll
bring
be
some
very
sample.
happy. Oh, yeah,
there we
definitely.
go.
We'll bring the
We'll
rum.
heat it up and
And
they'll
we'll
heat
bring
it
the
up.
rum.
And we'll bring the rum. There we go.
Yeah, that's,
There we go. So just we're about to. And we just have a couple announcements that we'll do with the audience before we close out the show because we've got some exciting things
This weekend.
happening
And not just this weekend, and the following week, I think it is, right?
yeah,
Or-
this weekend and next week. So
Okay.
this Saturday we've got from 12 to 6 p.m. First Street Fair.
Yeah. 12
So
to
it's
6
on
p.m.,
First
okay.
Street downtown. It's sponsored by Vitae Spirits. So you can go there. You don't have Vitae Spirits. They've got cocktails, sombreros. Is doing empanadas, all their beautiful.
I'm looking forward to
food.
doing the pumpkin latte from Vitae. It's got to be real delicious.
The
yeah.
pumpkin drink from
Yeah.
Vitae is going to be.
I'm sure there's more
delicious.
than just pumpkin latte. There's something behind
Oh,
it,
there's
but I can't
something-
remember. But
Let's
how I remember.
Let's put it this way: it's a cocktail. There's something.
course, of
there's
course.
something exciting about
That's
it
right.
that goes beyond what you can find at a Starbucks. So definitely, Vitae Spirits going to be there. Sombreros is going to be
Yes.
there. Darling Boutique is going to be there, so you can
Oh.
shop a little bit.
Okay.
There's going to be a raffle going on, so it's right there on First Street. First Street Fair, 12 to 6 on Saturday. So don't
Perfect.
miss it.
Yeah.
And then you'll probably see this on our screen. Judo, pull it up as I'm talking. The Envision Community Block Party is next
That's right.
Thursday. So we'll remind you again about it today, mañana, next Thursday. But next Thursday, October 14th, from 5 to 8 p.m. at Itch Art Park.
Right.
Very easy to find. Free to enter. And there's going to be a lot of great food. I mean, Sombreros, Pearl Island, Basan, Angelique's Kitchen. There's going to be musical performances by Elise Underwood. We've actually heard on the downtown mall that she's played at something. She's the one with a very large bass. And
Oh,
the jazz,
yes, okay.
The jazz musicians, fantastic jazz and contemporary, even some oldies music. So some great music there, as well as the Free Union Band is going to be playing, and it's just a free community event put on by United Way. So our local United Way, you'll be helping the community in many ways.
That's the most important thing.
It's a United Way of
your presence
of our
will help
area.
the community.
Exactly.
Right.
Your presence there, your support will help the community.
And there are other raffles too, or something.
There's raffles going on. So some Minority Business Alliance businesses are partnering. There's going to be free raffles. So there's going to be, I think some of it's going to be free goods, free food, consultations. You can win a free emergent financial services, financial planning consultation, as well as I think some realtors are going to be involved. So a lot of things you can win at that raffle as well, and all of it supporting United Way, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And then next week, I mean, as if today's show wasn't exciting enough. Next week we also have we're going to have Rob Campbell and Don Whitaker from Castle Hill Cider. So it's the general manager and the cider maker from Castle Hill Cider, and then we'll top that off with Michael Lemon from the Alley Light. So he is one of the
guy that
genius
makes
who
these.
yes, the genius mixologist.
I've never been there, but I know
behind
you guys seem to like that place.
It's very good. And he is a mastermind. He made us, Nick and Michael both said, just make us the dealer's choice. In other words, make us
whatever comes
to mind.
Wow.
And he made them three incredible creations. For lack of a better word. I don't just want to say cocktails. It was more than that. It was like a creation.
Exactly.
Of
It's
his
like
own.
the jury, unique, only one of a
Exactly.
kind.
There was only one. It was like, oh boy, this is a good one. So we're gonna have them all three of them on next week on Today Mañana. So that's gonna be
it's gonna be busy.
a blast.
I got to make sure I keep my calendar free for that
You're
day.
gonna have to keep your calendar free this next week. There's a lot to go to. Just now we're gonna add the city market too.
That's
You
right.
You got two places to see at the city market, and unfortunately, when you find one, you find the other, which makes it nice and easy. Just always love being on here with just amazing
Absolutely,
guests and
yes.
Latino. I always love
It's enjoyable.
the energy of our Latino
exactly.
entrepreneurs in the
Exactly.
community, and just
Like I said, I now look forward to Thursday morning for Today Mañana. When we first started, it's like, uh-oh. What are we
doing?
What are we going
What
to
are we
talk
doing?
about? What are we doing?
and now it's like, yes,
yeah.
we did.
I don't have to do anything. I just have to show up.
just have to show
this
up
is
and
perfect
talk.
for me. I just have to remember the guest name,
Just have to
which
remember the
sometimes
guest
I have
name.
trouble with that.
Next time-
My apologies for that.
Next time I'm gonna have to get you a list and we'll practice.
There you are.
Liz Marie and Anthony. Liz Marie and Anthony. Don't mix them up. One's Liz Marie, one's Anthony.
Well, that I wouldn't have done. I mean, I'm not there yet.
It's always just a blast, and we just appreciate being able to come here on the I Love Seville set. We appreciate Judah behind the camera, really making everything work for us.
Yes.
And just our sponsors, of course. We appreciate Emergent Financial Services. Glad to have Seville Picnic on board. It's going to be awesome.
Welcome.
So there's so many amazing, beautiful things that Stephanie Dorado does at Seville Picnic. It's a really beautiful experiences to people. And of course, we appreciate Vitae Spirits, Cristel Noel State Farm Agency, and GBS Financial Services.
Our friend Johan, who does so much for the
Our friend
community.
Johan does so much for the Latino community.
I'm sure he's working hard. October 15th
I
is
know,
around the
October
corner,
15th
so
on the way.
he's probably like
hard at work getting
working
anyone's taxes
midnight oil,
ready
burning
and-
that midnight oil. But
Exactly.
we'll have him
exactly.
on after the 15th, I'm sure.
We'll have him on to talk with us about what he does for Latino entrepreneurs all over. And of course, Florida Adelante, the premier Latino networking group here in Charlottesville. Just excited to be a part of that, and so glad to have Olga, founder of Florida Adelante,
that was
on
great.
last week.
That was great.
That was a blast. And of course, we appreciate you, our audience, without which this wouldn't be possible. But I always say we would be two guys standing around a table.
We probably still have fun, but it's a lot more fun when some people are listening.
The audience is watching and is engaged. Even more comments coming in from Nelson Luis Santiago, who said, great people. That's why they are where they are. Sarah Lynette Arce says, proud of you guys. And the Familia says, I'm wearing right now one of her beautiful creations. So there you go.
Good.
There you go.
Thank you for the support, guys.
Thank you all for watching. Really appreciate your support of Today Mañana and the entrepreneurs that come on here. And just love having you on. Excited to have you on next week for another fantastic show.
Looking forward
But
to it.
until that day comes, we will see you hasta mañana.